Alright, hello, welcome. My name is Jason Welsh, and today we're going to be looking at Arduino 1. So this is chapter 1, and it's software and hardware setup. So an Arduino looks like this. I got my live cam here, and I can manipulate and touch the said microcontroller. And what we're going to do is set up this microcontroller software and hardware wise. Okay. The first thing you should do hardware wise, and there's only one thing, is plug it into a USB-B. Okay, so USB, and make sure that this is plugged directly into the computer, or if you are using, like, let's say a USB hub, make sure the USB hub is a powered variety of USB hubs. Sweet. Software. You're going to have to find the Arduino main page. Okay. This could be found in Google if you want to go that route. All you do is have to type in Arduino. And we can go to the Arduino homepage. Then we can go to the download area, and we're going to be downloading two things here. I love using the older variation of Arduino software. The newer software is okay too, but I like some of the language. Like Byte. Byte got lost out of the mix, and I used Byte a lot. So what we're going to do is kind of download both, and I'll show you what the difference is later on. I'm using Windows, so I'm going to be using the window link here and saving that. And I've downloaded this already, but I have not downloaded this one. So I download this one too. Now trust me when I say stay organized, you should probably keep this in a folder called Arduino software. Alright, while that downloads that one, I'm going to get started on this one. So, open in container folder. You could double click to unpack this, and it gives you this folder. This folder has another folder in it, and here's the actual software itself. Now, this software, what I want to do is make sure it's in a good location, so I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to put it within C drive program files 86 and paste it right here. Okay, done that already. And I'll be doing the same with the Arduino 1. I'll just double click on it. I can click and drag this folder out. Alright, that will unpack it, and then again I can copy and paste that over to my C drive program files 86 directory. And you can see I've done that also. Alright, so that's step one, and then what happens is now if you want a link, I'm going to be using the 022 version a lot, and I put that down here just by clicking and dragging. Okay. Now, for the second step, we have to be concerned about people that set this up for the very first time. So let's cover that. Alright, for the second step, we have to worry about FTDI drivers. Okay, so FTDI drivers are located within I'm going to be using the 222 or 22 and go to drivers, you're going to find FTDI USB drivers, and here are the FTDI drivers. Okay. Now, if you double click this one, and if you have Windows 7, this is what I highly suggest. Right click on this and say run as administrator. And yes, definitely unplug your Arduino unit. Continue. And I'll just say reinstall. And there's mine. Mine's actually installed correctly, so I'm just going to keep continuing. Now, the reason we downloaded both applications as far as the 1 or 2.2, this one also has the FTDI drivers, and notice it has a longer list of Arduino. I have the Arduino Uno Rev 3 here. Okay, so if you want, you can install the application here also. You just have to make sure that you go into the right folder. And sometimes it's already installed for you by default with Windows 7, so you might not have to install it manually like I just did. I like to install it manually just like I did on any machine because I know it's installed correctly. Alright, now drivers. That was just the FTDI driver, which is it's a chip on the Arduino unit that translates USB to serial. We'll get more into that nerdy stuff later, but let's go into control panel. Let's go into system. Let's go into device manager, and you'll notice that I don't have any conflicts, so what I'm going to do is plug back into the Arduino unit. And you'll see that I have an unknown device now. Alright, so we need to solve that, because if we don't, we will not be able to communicate with it via the Arduino software. So let's double click on it, and let's go to driver and say update driver. I want to browse this on my computer, and I'll browse it out. And I'm going to be choosing the Arduino software 1.0 drivers, and then I'll hit OK, and then hit next. It'll pop up with this warning and say install the software anyway. There we go, Arduino Uno R3. Let's close that out. Close this out. Now we have a new serial port. Notice the serial port is COM7. You know, that might come in handy later on, and if you ever need to know where that's at, it's always located under system. You can go to ports and find your Arduino unit, and it'll be labeled here. Okay, sometimes in the software you have to state what serial port it's on. Okay, so that being said, now I have this link which leads to Arduino 2.2, and there's a couple things you should turn off, like file, preferences. Make sure you say automatically associate files. I'd like keeping that checked, and check for updates on startup, unchecked. I know there's an update, I really don't want it right now, so I'll uncheck that. If all goes correctly, you should be able to go to Tools, go to Board, and choose Arduino Uno. Now, how do I know it's an Uno? Well, it's located right there. Now, if you're using the Leonardo, just choose Arduino Leonardo. And if you go to serial port, you'll see that the serial port does in fact communicate well. Alright, so that's the initial software setup for an Arduino unit. Then what we're going to be doing now is looking at a little bit of programming and explaining digital versus analog. See you then.